Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto Byte. Today is Thursday, February 17th, and the market's pulling back a little bit again today. Seems like that Biden news that you just posted in our community, CJ, has the market moving a little bit. All across the board, we're seeing some red candles here this morning. So we'll dive into that and a whole lot more before we get started. CJ, how you doing today, my friend?
Doing good, Monty. Wall Street in a bit of a tizzy this morning. But yeah, let's check out some of that news. Specifically, what did Mr. J.B. Biden say? So just a few moments ago, Biden says, my sense is that Russia will invade Ukraine within the next several days. More specifically, every indication that we have is that they are prepared to go into Ukraine, attack Ukraine, adding, my sense will happen within the next several days. Very interesting change of tone in regards to like the almost like sigh of relief that the market had around this particular geopolitical uncertainty like 2 days ago, and we rallied. But evidently, it's not over just yet. The one thing that I think is really interesting is that despite all of the carnage, like you would expect kind of the 10-year rates to be up, or you expect TNX or TYX to be up. They're actually down 3 to 4% today and are looking as if they potentially tentatively topped in the short term here. So that's going to be something that we're watching as well. But what do you make of that, Monty? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's just been such a turbulent week. Like you said, the change of pace from what we saw yesterday and that sort of interim relief in the markets and what that did to Bitcoin and also the crypto market. We saw assets like AVAX get a little breathing room and make some runs. But now that the market's pulling back and we've had kind of another flip flop where it feels like we're on the brink of war again in Europe. So the market's responding to that. And yesterday's Fed minutes didn't really even have a chance to play out this morning in the market. I was hoping that perhaps we would see a little bit of a rally this morning on the back of the clarity that we got yesterday, but ultimately we haven't had a chance for that to play out because of this news. So, Bitcoin pulling back, we're back down in the 41K range, and that has also led to some carnage in the alts as well. But like you said, CJ, it's interesting to note that the TNX as well pulling back. Everything seems to be risk off here. So, this is just a very choppy market, like we talked about yesterday.
Yeah, well, let's dissect some of that chop and check out some of these charts. Yeah, let's just start with traditional markets here, specifically with the S&P. I mean, not a whole lot to discuss following up after yesterday. I mean, just still in this bearish continuation, looking at a potential continuation to kind of lower levels of this range if kind of certainty does not necessarily come back into the market. Also, just macro tightening in general, I think, still has many folks willing to place very large multi-billion-dollar long trades or long bets necessarily. And really, it's just a very similar picture with the NASDAQ as well. Let's see how Europe is doing. So UKX still getting a very bearish engulfing candle. 1 hour left in that trading day. The Germans kind of same as well. Not as bad as the U.S. markets, at least here at the open. somewhat noteworthy. And then, of course, to the treasury yields, like we had discussed earlier, we are starting to see potentially a tentative top here, at least in the interim. Perhaps we see some type of consolidation similar to this after reaching levels that we have not seen since 2019, really unparalleled. So that'll be interesting to follow as well. But I do want to touch on Bitcoin because we did fall below 42K here very briefly. And the one thing that we look at almost on a daily basis is a macro trend scanner. And we still, we are barely holding that level. If we close below that level, I would close short-term long positions. I would look for potential neutral consolidation or potentially even a reversal of trend and a continuation of fear. And the one thing that I think makes this scenario or this situation like very clear are the Keltner channels. So as you can see, we are pressing up against a very critical level on the Keltner channel band here. And if we look historically, how has these Keltner channels performed during bullish and bearish periods of the trend? Well, typically during uptrends, right, this level is a good level of support. This is what we want to see. We want to see price bouncing from these levels and finding support throughout uptrends. When the trend breaks down and closes below the outer band, or excuse me, the middle band, after a bull trend, that is a very strong warning shot that at least we're going to be in some more chop or some more uncertainty, or at the very least, it's much less likely that we're going to continue trending in a more linear fashion higher when compared to kind of just testing these levels and potentially consolidating further. So long story short, it's just very messy right now for any type of like intraday buy or sell, in my view. I really want to see where price closes today in relation to this middle Keltner channel to determine, all right, are we going to continue this bull trend? Is this level going to be enough to hold as support? Is this fear that, the words of what we've received from our president this morning, is that just going to blow over, or is that going to be something more substantial kind of going into the weekend here? We shall see. But either way, my line in the sand, so to speak, is this Keltner band that I'm watching. Also, specifically, a 20 smooth moving average is or a 20 simple moving average is that same level as well, right at 42K. So basically, that's what we're looking at here with Bitcoin and many assets in a intraday perspective. But any thoughts, anything you'd like to share on that, Monty?
Yeah, CJ. I mean, like you said, we are right up against your proverbial line in the sand here. And I think if we look at the hourly chart, yesterday we talked about how this level right here, right, we can kind of extend this level of 41.9, a highly critical level historically and, in recent weeks for Bitcoin. So, now that we're coming down, we are bouncing a little bit on the hourly chart here. So kind of getting a little bit of confluence with the middle of your Keltner channel there. But also, I mean, just look at how this level has been, highly critical on both sides. AJ would talk about this role reversal here. We saw strong resistance at this level. After our move up, it was sold into on several occasions before we were ultimately able to climb higher. But then on the way down, we kind of consolidated on this range. We talked about how we saw some signs of accumulation, right around that 42K level. So now that we're back, retesting this level with a lot of bearish momentum, also bearish conditions in the macro backdrop, it makes me wonder, will this level hold up? And I think that looking at the hourly chart and also, your Keltner channel too, CJ, a break below this level could lead to a test of, sub 40 levels. The next real support we have is at about 39K here. And, that would coincide with the bottom of the bottom band of your Keltner channel and, also kind of complete the breakout pattern that we're seeing here on the hourly chart. So, some signs of concern, but also, a little bit encouraging that we are holding this level in the meantime. I do really want to see, a bounce from this level and continued signs of strength at this level. That to me is, going to be one of the first tests of us being able to show, strength independent of the traditional equity markets because, we're seeing sell pressure across the board and, pretty much all the major indices. So I think that if we can see some accumulation from long-term holders from whales at this critical, just below 42K level, then perhaps we will see a little bit of divergence, perhaps some neutral consolidation while the S&P continues to correct. But we are right at that line in the sand. So going to keep an eye on both the hourly chart and that middle Keltner channel there. But that's all I got. Anything else you got here?
No. No. Maybe we're just all wrong, and Charlie Munger is, the only one who knows what's really going on. So
I know, what a crazy, that's another thing. Like, not only have we been, flip-flopping on, war and then not going to war in Europe. Yesterday we had Warren Buffett coming out with like bullish news about Bitcoin. Then today we have Charlie Munger comparing it to a venereal disease. It's like, my God, this has just been, not just choppy price action, but the news is like you're getting hit over the head with bullish news, bearish news, just a mixed bag at this point. But anyways, I think that's all we got for today. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. And one last thing I do want to say, Crypto Convo with Jon. I know some of you guys were checking that out yesterday. That is live officially. You can check it out at cryptoconvo.com. It's also on the Market Rebellion YouTube channel. Like we said, Jon, in his ventures all throughout the world, interviewing various figureheads in crypto. There's 3 of them here live on the site. More will be coming soon. Like I said, my favorite is the one with David Burt, the premier of Bermuda. Really, really insightful and interesting. He's a really intelligent guy, and hearing him talk with Jon was very interesting to me. So definitely go over there and check that out. And also, if you guys want to hang out with CJ and I in the crypto community, you can do so at the link below me, marketrebellion.com/try crypto. You can try the first week for just $7. And if you liked today's video, please remember to hit like and subscribe on the way out. It really helps out the channel. But that's all we got. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you at the members only Doge of the day. But take care.